Hi, good morning. Today we're going to review chain rule, product rule, and quotient rule when we're finding derivative. So let's take a look at number one. So we got f of x equal to square root of 64 minus x squared. We had to find f prime of x. So we had the outer function with the square root, and the inner function is 64 minus x squared. So we're going to use chain rule. So f of x equal to the 64 is minus the x squared is the inner, so the outer it will be the something to the half. So in order to use the chain rule, we have to rewrite it this way. So now f prime of x. So now we're going to use the exponent. We bring it to the front, and the exponent subtract 1. And then we're going to write the 64 minus x squared. As soon as we finish, we had to multiply the derivative of the inner. Derivative of 64 is 0, and minus the derivative of x squared is 2x. Now we're going to simplify, so we get 1 half. So you get 64 minus x squared. A half minus 1 is negative half. And this simplify will be negative 2x. If you can skip steps, you can do it from here to here. Now we're going to simplify. 1 half times the negative 2 times x. So we're going to simplify. So we get negative x times 64 minus x squared to the negative half. This is already a correct answer that I'm going to rewrite into a fraction. So now we're going to get negative x times. This is going to be 1 over 64 minus x squared to the half. Negative exponent become positive exponent. So you got negative x times 1 over square root of 64 minus x squared. And then this multiplying to the 1 because this is over 1. So you're going to get negative x over square root of 64 minus x squared. So I show all the detailed steps. For those people who are more advanced, you can skip some step. You can get from here to here to here. One more time, if you can skip steps, you can skip steps. Now let's go to question number 2. Question number 2. So we have a y equal 5x times square root of x squared plus 1. We have to find dy dx at x equal 3. So you find the derivative and evaluate it at x equal 3. So for this question, we have two functions multiplying together. So we had to make u equal to 5x and me equal to square root of x squared plus 1. So now we are going to find the u prime, which is 5. And this just rewrite into x squared plus 1 to the half. Just make it easy to use the chain rule. So now we bring the half to the front, and then 1 half minus 1 as exponent. We're going to put the x squared plus 1 inside. Then you multiply. You find the derivative of the x squared plus 1, which is 2x plus 0. So I'm going to put 2x. Okay, now we simplify. So you're going to get x times, okay, this part to the negative half. So this is already good. Let's rewrite into fraction. So you get x times 1 over, okay. You can skip some stuff, you can. So now we're going to do the product rule. So dy dx. So we're going to get u prime v plus uv prime. This multiply first. Okay. Now we are going to do substitution. We got 5 times square root of x squared plus 1 and plus 5x times x times 1 over square root x squared plus 1. Right here, the v prime. So now we're going to have 5 times square root of x squared plus 1 and plus this all go to the numerator because they're all over 1. So you get 5x squared over square root of x squared plus 1. Now we have a fraction. This is not a fraction. In order to make it into one fraction, so we're going to make this denominator 1. You have to find a common denominator, which is the square root of x squared plus 1. So I'm going to multiply square root of x squared plus 1, and you multiply square root of x squared plus 1. Now you're going to get same denominator. And then here, these two multiply together, and then the square root will cancel out, just like when you have like square root of 3 times square root 3 equal to 3. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 equal to 5. So now we're going to get 5 times this, and then plus 5x squared. Now we multiply this out, so you're going to get 5x squared plus 5 and plus 5x squared, and the denominator stay the same, and then combine them, so you get 10x squared plus 5 over square root x squared plus 1. Very last step, we're going to do dy dx, and x equal to 3. Now we're going to do substitution, so you get 10 times 3 squared plus 5, and square root of 3 squared plus 1. So you get 3 squared is 9, 9 times 10 is 90, plus 5, you get 95. And then here you got 3 squared plus 1 is 10, so square root 10. So we finish the question, 95 over square root 10. You don't need to rationalize the denominator when you have the free response question. Leave it like this. So we finished question number 2. Let's go to question number 3. Number 3. Let's take a look at part A. Part A is said find the f prime of x. So we have the function. It's a fraction form, so we're going to use the quotient rule again. So A, when we u equal to x, b equal to x plus 2, u prime equal 1 due to 1x is 1. So for the same reason, so you get 1. One more time, the due to a 0. So now we're going to get f prime of x. So you're going to do the quotient rule. So we're going to do u prime v minus u v prime over v squared. If you memorize these formulas already, that's good. If you have not remembered, now it's time to remember. So we are going to do substitution. Your u prime is 1 times x plus 2 minus 1 times x, and then a v squared, so x plus 2 holding square. And then we are going to simplify, so you're going to get 1x plus 2 minus x, and then you have the x plus 2 holding square. So this cancel. Okay, this cancel out. So you get 2 over x plus 2 holding square. So we finished part A. Now let's take a look at part B. Part B, write an equation tangent line to f of x at x equal to 1. So for part B, equation tangent line tell us you have to use y equal to mx plus b. So we already know x equal to 1. We need to know the y and m. Always you have to figure out this. So y you have to substitute into the original function. So we have to use y equal to f of 1. So you get 1 over 1 plus 2. You get 1/3. And m, we have to use f prime of x. So f prime of 1. And we already got the 2 over, okay, x plus 2. So it'll be 1 plus 2 holding square. So now we got 2 over 3 squared, 2 over 9. So now we found 3 number. We go back, y equal to mx plus b. So we got the y value, and then the m and x, is a 5b. So now I'm going to change it into 3, 9. And you subtract. You can do it in your mind if you can. So you get 1, 9. So therefore the answer is y equal to m, which is 2, 9x, and the b is 1, 9. So we finished question number 3b. Now let's take a look at 3c. 3c is write an equation of tangent line to f of x at x equal to pi. So it's the same concept except I give you a number pi. So for part C, so y equal to mx plus b. So you get x equal pi and y equal to the f of pi. So you get x over x plus 2. So pi over pi plus 2. You are not allowed to convert it into decimal. F prime of x equal to 2 over x plus 2 holding square. So then m equal to 2 over pi plus 2 holding square. I give you this question on purpose so you have a complicated fraction. You don't need to convert into decimal. So now we're going to substitute into the y equal mx plus b and 5b. So we got the y value is pi over pi plus 2. And the m is 2 over pi plus 2 holding square, and times the x is pi, and what's b. So now we're going to multiply the 2 with the pi because pi over 1. So you get 2 pi, and then you have pi plus 2 holding square plus b. You are not allowed to convert to decimal, so therefore you subtract this both sides. And then you have a complicated b, so you just write this pi over, okay, I wrote wrong numbers, 2. Pi plus 2 minus 2 pi is pi plus 2. Okay, so now this is your b. So we are going to rewrite into y equal mx plus b. So m is going to be this. So 2 over pi plus 2 holding square times x. And then you substitute your complicated b in here. Pi over pi plus 2 minus 2 pi over pi plus 2 holding square. So this is your tangent line. So one more time, if you have a complicated question like this, do not convert to decimal. And I believe it's going to be fall into the part that you are not allowed to use calculator. Now we finished part C. Let's take a look at part D. What point x comma y on the graph of f have the property that the line tangent to f at x comma y have a slope of half? So the keyword, it means the tangent line to f have a slope of a half. So for part D, so we had the tangent line has slope equal to half. So in other words, a prime of x equal to half. So we already have this part, and you just go backward to find the x comma y. So from part A, we found the f prime of x. So f prime of x equal to 2 over x plus 2 holding square. That we got it from part A. So now we got 2 over x plus 2 holding square equal to 1/2. Now we just cross multiply. So we got x plus 2 holding square equal 4. So we got x plus 2 equal to plus minus square root of 4. Because there are two numbers that have square equal 4. Like for example, okay, you're going to find out 2 and negative 2. So we got x plus 2 equal to plus minus 2. 2. So we're going to get x plus 2 equal to x plus 2 equal to negative 2. So you get x equal to 0. You minus 2, you get x equal to negative 4. So we found the x value. Just have to find the y value. So y equal to the function. If you're going to find y value, always go back to original function. So y equal to the x over x plus 2. So you got 0 over 0 plus 2, which is 0. So you got 0 over comma 0. So you're going to have substitute the negative 4 and then negative 4 plus 2. So you get negative 4 over negative 2, which is 2. So still you have negative 4 comma 2. So we found 2 points. So we finished part D. Now let's go to question 3E. 3E. Find the limit as x tends to negative 2 from the right side, x over x plus 2. So this goes back to something we learned in October. This one, if it is a fraction, so the denominator x plus 2 equals 0 and x equals negative 2. So we know that there is a vertical asymptote. So you get f of x equal to x over x plus 2. X plus 2 equals 0, x equals negative 2 is the vertical asymptote. So recall what we learned before? If you have a vertical asymptote, let x equal to a. So if you approach it from the left side, you get positive infinity. Okay, or maybe you approach it from the left side, get negative infinity. Same idea. If you approach it from the right side, you go to get negative infinity, or you approach it from the right side, get positive infinity. So if you have this number is the vertical asymptote, there's only 2 answers. Okay, x equal to negative 2 is a vertical asymptote. So limit as x tends to negative 2 from the right side has only 2 answers. We talked about that before. Either positive infinity or negative infinity. So this way we don't need to do so much. If you remember this, all this you don't have to write down. So that is the idea behind it. So to find the answer for this, we talked about that before. So let's refresh our memory. We are going to pick a number that is very close to negative 2 from the right because the plus sign. So let's say x equal to negative 1.999. You have to choose a number that's very close to it, not like 2 or 3 or 4. That's too far away. Now we're going to check the sign. If you get positive, you get positive infinity. If you get negative, the answer will be negative infinity. So now we got x over x plus 2. So we're going to have negative 1.999 and negative 1.999 plus 2. So this is negative. This at the 2 will become positive. A negative divided by positive is negative. So answer is negative infinity. So all this you had to write on the bottom or do it in your mind if you can't do it in your mind. So you just write down the answer. That's how much you had to write. Just this and this. If you can do all this in your mind. Of course, you can do this to help you to get the answer. So we finished part E. So let's take a look at part F. So for part F, we know that the x equal negative 2 is a vertical asymptote. So there are only 2 answers. So you are going to get positive infinity or negative infinity as x tends to negative 2 from the left side. So I am going to pick a number that is close goes to -2 from the left. So let's say x equal to -2.001. Okay, this part you don't have to write down. Okay, so now you show this, or you do it in your mind. So you get -2.001 over -2.001 plus 2. You get negative over negative equal positive. So limit do this with this, or just this if you do everything in your mind. So we finished question number 3. Let's go to question number 4. Number 4. So we have a fraction again. So we have the domain is x greater than 0. The reason because the domain for L and x, they have to be positive. Part A, find f prime of x. So we're gonna do u equal to L and x, and v equal to 2x. U prime, the due to of L and x is 1 over x, or 1 over x times 1. If you want to write that way, v prime equal to f prime of x. This is fraction, so we have to use the quotient rule. U prime v, okay, this goes with this, subtract uv prime over v squared. So now we're going to have 1 over x times 2x minus, I'm going to put a 2 first, 2 times ln x, and then v squared. We're going to simplify it. So we're going to get, cancel the x. So you get 2 minus 2 ln x. 2x squared, I mean 2x times 2x, so it'll be 4x squared. So this square is already the answer. If you want to, you can factor out the 2. So you're going to have 1 minus ln x, and it is 4x squared. And then you simplify. So you get 1 minus ln x over 2x squared. So this is going to be the answer for part A. Now we are going to part B. Find the x-coordinate of the critical point of f of x. Determine whether at this point is a relative maximum, a relative minimum, or neither. Specifying your answer. So you have to find the critical point, in other words, critical values. So critical point is the same thing as critical value. You have 2 names. So in order to find the critical point and critical value, we had to use the f prime of x. So let's take a look at the f prime of x. From the part A, we got 1 minus ln x over 2x squared. This time we get a fraction. In the last 2 weeks, we never get a fraction. We just make it equal 0.